So over to you, Si Kamel and Mrs. Atwi. Our attendees, we have a number of attendees in our present in our session today. So over to you, Si Kamel or Mrs. Atwi.
Yeah, Mrs. Atwi, okay, he's going to start.
Yeah, shall we start then?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, then hello everybody, and thank you for joining us for our fourth U-innovate monthly webinar. The topic, as you can see on the screen, will be theater and games in the EFL classroom. We have with us two speakers today who kindly accepted to share their experiences on the topic with us. But before that, I'd like to remind you that just a second, please. The webinar series is organized by a steering committee composed of Mrs. Camelia Zorgati, ELT inspector from Monastir, Mr. Habib Sherni, ELT inspector in Kef area, Mr. Kamel Sheikh, ELT inspector in Medellin, and myself, Lama Atwi, ELT inspector in Manuba and Tunis 1. Before we start the introduction of our speakers, we'd like to remind you of what we called housekeeping rules. For our attendees, please, during the presentations, we would like you to mute your microphones. And if you've got questions, you can write them in the chat box, and we'll forward them later on to our presenters. We'll have 15 minutes at the end of each presentation to answer those questions. We would also like to remind you to answer a short quiz, a very short one, in order to get your attendance certificates. We are going to post the link to the quiz in the chat box at the end of the webinar and in our Facebook group too. And now for our two speakers, just by way of reminder, the duration of each presentation will be for about 25 minutes. And then we are going, as the moderators, Mr. Sheikh and myself, are going to remind you of the time, 10 and 5 minutes before the end of your presentations, respectively. Over to you, Mr. Sheikh, because I think you have kind of introduction to set the scene for our webinar.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mrs. Lema, and thank you very much for all the participants. Now we have newcomers, I guess, each time, each webinar. This is the fourth event that has been organized so far. Now, many thanks to our guest speakers, of course, and I do apologize for not naming everybody, but I could see some familiar names, of course. I could see Mr. Najih also welcome to the webinar. We cannot hold the chat and the video at the same time, but anyway, welcome everybody to this session. Now, before I hand over to, again, back to Mrs. Lema so that she can introduce the first speaker, I want to put this session or this webinar into its context, of course, because you can see that the title we have chosen for tonight's event is Theater and Games in the EFL Classroom. And in my opinion, in times of pressure caused by the pandemic, as you know, and we are all aware of the situation, and also by the mandates, or if you want, the authoritative commands of the curriculum, the best thing to talk about is theater and games in the classroom. After all, who doesn't enjoy these two things? Each one of us should have had an experience with these two, if you want, two styles or two areas in their childhood when we were students, of course, and simply because they were enjoyable moments. And make sure you as teachers and for each one of us, and we should make sure that students will have similar impressions about the moments that the teacher tries with them in a very enjoyable and funny style, whether through theater, through games, through songs, or any other ways. In this context, I would like to refer to theoretical foundations for this kind of work, because actually for everything that we do, it's theoretically founded. And if you are keen on theory, you will. I'll leave some links in relation to this content on the Facebook group so that you can have more ideas about it. And my reference is actually a very eminent figure in the field of social learning, John Dewey, actually dating back to the 1938. And John Dewey talked about progressive education. He thought that education should include socially engaging learning experiences that are developmentally appropriate for young children through theater, through interaction in the classroom, etc. Dewey also thought that schools and classrooms should be representative of real life situations, allowing children to participate in learning activities interchangeably and flexibly in a variety of social settings. So I hope that the webinar this evening will whet people's appetite for theater and games in class. So good luck for both speakers, and I'm going to hand over back to my colleague, Mrs. Lama, to continue. Thank you very much. Mrs. Lama?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Mrs. Lama, we cannot hear you. Sorry, we cannot hear you.
How about now? Is it sound like this? Can you hear me now?
Mrs. Lama, so you are going to introduce Mrs. Agarbi, the first speaker, please. I hope that your mic is activated and it's working.
It is.
Okay.
I don't know what the problem is.
No problem. Okay, it happens. Now we can hear you, I guess.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce Mrs. Agarbi. Mrs. Monia Agarbi is a teacher of English with an experience of over 19 years. She taught at the Higher Institute of Technology in Siljena, as well as in different secondary and preparatory schools in Nabil and Kef area. She's got a long experience in integrating various types of theater and drama activities in teaching. She was also the coordinator of the MCGM project, which focused on values education through artistic activities. Moreover, she participated in many regional and national events and workshops revolving around the use of drama as a teaching. Mrs. Agarbi is going to tell us about her journey with integrating theater in the learning process. So over to you, Mrs. Agarbi.
Thank you, Mrs. Lama. I'm going, okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Can you share your screen, please?
Is it there?
Not yet. Yes, it's here. We can see it.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's always a pleasure meeting my colleagues to share experiences for the sake of our professional development. And thanks to all contributors for this opportunity and all the attendees. thank you, Mr. Cherny, for suggesting me as a guest speaker for today's webinar. Thank you, Mrs. Atwi, for your generosity and professionalism. Thank you, Mr. Sheikh, for supporting this project.
Welcome.
Due thanks to Mrs. Zorgati, who inspired me a lot and encouraged me integrating puppets and drama in my classroom for years now. So I will share my. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay.
We can hear you and
So,
we can see your presentation now, yeah.
Okay. So this is a mind map. I don't know, there is a problem in the sound here. There is a problem. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So this is a mind map recapitulating the whole presentation. Sorry.
Do you have another device next to your computer, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I will
try to
see.
switch it off.
I will see. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix. Is it better now? No?
Yeah, it's better maybe, but if you are connected from two devices, try to switch off one of them, I think.
I think it's better. I can hear my voice
much better.
clearly now. Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is a mind map recapitulating the whole presentation, which is
Mrs.
in fact,
can you go on the slide? Can you just make it larger, maybe slideshow or something?
I can't, but I try to cut it in parts to be seen clearly afterwards after the presentation. You'll find parts of it and clearer parts. So it resumes all the steps that led me to recognize the importance of using theater in the English classroom. So as I strongly believe that one major language skill that should be mastered by the English learners is the ability to speak. Learning English does not only require knowledge of the grammatical rules, and in fact, it's a matter of carrying a message appropriately in various social interactions. Therefore, the teaching process needs a clear understanding of the reasons which hinder the speaking ability. So, no doubt, most of English teachers among us faced or still struggle with to engage reluctant students to speak and communicate spontaneously. So I personally felt that there should be reasons behind their reluctance and resort to silence in the classroom. I knew deep inside that they had great potentials, but they are stuck by something hindering them to speak. I was overwhelmed, even haunted by two questions. These two questions are, what made my students so reluctant to use English? And what am I supposed to do to boost their speaking ability and guarantee communication in the classroom? To find answers, I met some of my students in Neighbor Prep School here in Kef area, 2013. After the lesson, I asked them about the reasons of their reluctance to speak in the class. So the answer was as follows.
نحب نتكلم اللغة الإنجليزية لكن المواضيع نقرأ فيها ما تعجبنيش كيف دبل تيكر أنا ما نعرفهاش هي المواضيع مش في الواقع نتاعنا.
The second video.
عليك واسمعني تحشم
كم الكلمة بالغلط اللي حبلي؟
اها خاف لا يدخل اسحاق كل كلمة غلطة. اها شو هي؟ تتكلم انت كي تخرج تحاول تتكلم وانت برا تحاول تتكلم انجلي ولا هكذا تنسيني معناها تخرج من خاص صعيب هكا.
So I think the sound is good.
Yeah,
Hello?
it worked. Okay, that was fine. Yeah, okay.
Thank you. So I tried various techniques and strategies, and I dig deep, tapping on their hidden potentials. I looked for things that seemed interesting to them, like playing games, creating and using posters, playing music, writing songs, and I even worked with their music teacher to compose what we write in the classroom to be sung afterwards. So I based my work on project work, and in fact that was very fruitful, and I saw improvement and motivation among the students. Here are some examples, and with the project work in the classroom, and we tried also other types of group work or project work, even outside the classroom wall. So I felt excitement, joy, and pride in their eyes when they, for example, campaigned and against pollution in front of their schoolmates in the middle of the courtyard, and you will see some pictures of this. And we also tried something else. We took permissions from other teachers to enter their classrooms and try to speak to the pupils there a few minutes in English to convince them with an idea or a topic discussed in our classroom just before. And this slide is an example. So to get rid of their fear from others, help them get engaged in a given topic and support it collaboratively and in groups in order to lessen their fear from speaking English openly. So we tried also campaigning in the school courtyard, and they tried to speak loudly and together, repeating slogans and mottos of the campaigns. Here we campaigned in the school environment and even outside the school environment or the school walls. So with all the efforts made, holding campaigns, presenting posters, and using music, discussing topics in and outside the classroom, I had a strong belief that there was something missing despite of the satisfaction and happiness I saw in my students' eyes. And the answer or the the answer was by the end of the school year when Mrs. Zorgati invited me to the Anglo Village in Monastir Summer School 2014, and that was the beginning of the story. The beginning of the story with using puppets. In one of the sessions that I attended, I heard the teacher speaking about using a puppet to catch her young students' attention to the lesson. And this idea seemed to be ordinary for most of the attendees, but it wasn't the same for me. I was haunted by the question how to engage my students to speak, to interact and communicate spontaneously in a stress-free atmosphere. Using puppets was the answer, I think. I thought at the time. I went back home with a precious tool to implement in my classroom. And I planned the whole pedagogical scenario for the coming school year. And at the time I was called to teach in Kef Pioneer Prep School by two. Sorry? Hello?
It's okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, it's okay.
Go ahead.
Great. So I was called to teach in Al-Kaf Pioneer Prep School by the two outstanding mentors, Mr. Suli and Mrs. Camilla Zorgati, with whom I shared this exciting experience afterwards in many occasions in that very school. And Mr. Cherny is also honored me as a guest many times before. So the years I spent there in Pioneer Prep School in CAF marked my professional career and helped me recognize what I planned to do during that school or summer school. I started the school year with a puppet in my hand. I introduced myself to the students using my new friend. I asked them to have theirs next session. I helped them with ideas to create puppets. We did some of them together in the classroom, like having different types of puppets. And here are some examples of the puppets we use in our classroom. Okay, we have many types of puppets. We have glove puppets and sock puppets. We have also masks, and we wear masks when we played afterwards plays. We draw faces on our fingers to have finger puppets as well, and we used also stick puppets. So all these types of puppets can be ideas to help the students use what is in hand, use their puppets whatsoever, the type of a puppet. So the idea is there, and creativity also is in their minds. So everything around seemed helpful and was of a certain use. So starting to build a strong relation with them, some of my students began to speak English with their puppets in the school courtyard and at home as well. Even their parents noticed their progress in practicing the English language at home and outside. So we made a stage, and as we proceeded in the use of puppets in the classroom, I noticed that engaging or enacting dialogues, developing discussions, or expressing inner feelings openly needed a classroom stage to guarantee much comfort and help the students work at ease. In fact, speaking behind the curtain makes the speaker reveal his thoughts, express opinions, and give him a chance to widen his imagination, trying to be a different character each time. So I decided to put two desks, one on top of the other, hide them with a tablecloth at first, of course. Then we made a better one after the first after the first stage used in the classroom. So I found that the idea of having a classroom stage is really crucial, and the classroom stage offered a comfortable atmosphere to the students to speak, and offered an opportunity to learn from mistakes, because the puppets can attempt the role play and make a few mistakes instead of the students. A pressure-free situation that offers flexibility in choosing one's partner for the puppet show. Therefore, the student has the choice to enact roles with another student or with his own puppet as well. So the puppet showed me that it can be a good partner in short dialogues, and the stage is considered to be their warm house. A great confidence booster for reluctant students, the stage offered a great opportunity for the students to develop their speaking ability. And I found that speaking ability develop when teasing and taunting is less, and when all the students are considered as puppets, and mistakes are perfectly normal in the learning process. Many students have thick, thin, or sharp voices, or some difficulties in articulating some letters. They often resort to silence and prefer to write instead of speaking. Puppet shows in this case is their precious weapon to use their voices, and it would be perfectly convenient for any role enacted by a puppet. Their voice, or their different voice from the others, can be a blessing rather than a curse. I often try to change my voice as an attempt to encourage them using strange voices to overcome their problems. I found it a smart idea to get them out of their comfort zone and help them start to practice English comfortably. So it is a funny way to tackle different topics and to bring text into life for a better understanding of a lesson. It is also a suitable platform for a collaboration between students trying to build a story together, share a scenario that is going to be enacted afterwards, and after a fruitful discussion, of course. It also helpful to incarnate a sense of achievement and pride within the in the students and within the classroom environment. So I used puppets and drama theater in general excessively, and I found the powerful presence of theater in my classroom. The puppets can be used in different stages of the lesson, in group session, as well as a project work presentation. Puppets are useful for the teacher as well as the student. So it helped me personally to introduce a topic, to create a situation. For instance, you can use two puppets and consider one as a father and the other is the son while discussing a family or introducing a family problem. Then you ask them, you can ask the students, what's the problem, to in order to introduce, for example, the problem of pocket money or generation gap within a family. It helped me also recycle some grammatical points, and I have a video in a compilation that I can have it after the presentation to be seen, and to see how to recycle grammar or recycling grammar through puppets and theater. To make the oral test also, it is a tool to help making the oral test in a communicative way. Two students, for example, behind the stage holding their puppets. The first, for example, the 8th formers here are can be involved in Chris. The first student is Chris inviting Iman, for example, to go to London, and the second student is Iman, who is going to express surprise and then accept the invitation in order to test previous structure in a communicative yet enjoyable atmosphere. So it is also helpful to create a great a great atmosphere for participation during the lesson. In the post stage also, it proved to be a very helpful tool in the production phase of the lesson. They can do many things. They even wrote songs, and by the end of the lesson about a related topic, or dialogue or short dialogue or whatsoever, or even expressing their opinion, and then they try to present their opinions behind the stage. openly and without being afraid from others. In such a way, the use of theater in classroom helped the students to develop presentation skills and enable better learning, which was highly seen in the presentation sessions of the project work as well as during the classroom library, which is in fact another project which I implemented in my classroom. Here are some examples of project work presentation where in which students used theater and music at the same time, enacting roles and playing music, singing. So here acting helps learning to be fun or a funny experience for the students. We made use of also technology in relation with theater. So here we had some project work with dealing with the filming or videotaping situations outside the classroom, even at their houses, and to be afterwards presented and discussed in the presentation session. There is a teacher here who is an unfair teacher, and two students, one a good student and another low achiever, but the teacher is trying to be on the side of the lazy student. So it is a funny way to introduce the topic and discuss it afterwards. So in fact, another project is the classroom library, and it consisted of collecting English books from the students, then put them in a corner in the classroom, so that the students make use of the books. I put a corner in the classroom with the books already read by the students. Each student write his name on a book and try to exchange books together with the magazines as well, and then to be read and presented. You can present the work either in groups or individually, but the idea is to prepare a presentation using a puppet show or enact roles found in the story read or in the book read, give a brief summary of the book or the story read, and then speak about the characters in the book. Here is an essay of the project.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
I
Muslima?
just want to remind you of the time. You still have like 6 minutes to go.
Okay, I'm trying my best. Okay, very good. The puppet can be also a student perfect partner, as I said, and here is an example of a presentation in the classroom library. Therefore, I always say to my students, dream high and spread your wings. As we gained confidence to participate in many regional and national events, we also made yearly performances, and at the end of each school year, to show the parents, the colleagues, and other pupils how important is the use of puppets and the drama, indeed, in the learning and teaching process. So I will show you the slides and the pictures about our types of visits and projects made by the students using puppet shows and theater, plays, etc. Examples is the MCDM project, which is in fact incarnates all the values of seen in the textbook, such as campaigning or preaching love, peace, and say stop to violence in the school environment and outside. These kinds of topics. We visited elderly house also, and the students sang songs and enacted roles using their puppets to please the elderly and young pupils with special needs, of course. And we participated in many other events, regional events, such as the CIRS festival, wherein we presented puppet shows, musical plays, and choreography as well. So here are some examples of the shows and the open days we made in and outside the school. This is performing outside the classroom, and this is Mariam, which is also a puppet incarnating the MCDM project. And here are some of the school performances in so from behind the classroom stage to performing in front of the audience. Here are some of the visits. CIRS Festival was also a very nice opportunity for my students to share what they learned, and they consider theater as a source of pride and happiness. You can find here Mr. Habib was the jury at the time, and we went back with the second prize of the festival. So you can find it on YouTube. But by the way, I moved to teach in an ordinary school, and this year I'm teaching in a Deer Prep School. I'm restarting the whole procedure with different students with different levels. First results are promising, but learning is a whole process, and the teacher should be patient and perseverant to enjoy the harvest afterwards. So I personally found in ILCAF students of great potentials to perform roles, and they have a high sense of humor, and I still believe that I possess a magic tool to gain their motivation and engage them into exciting learning experience and into social interaction as well. I think that each teacher can find his or her suitable key to get the utmost of the students and engage them. For me, a teacher who holds a puppet has an animated class where the language is alive, presented in real-life situations, and with students' motivation and creativity is always guaranteed, regardless to the level of the students, to the bulk of the lessons, and the shortage in time of all the difficulties he or may encounter. I think I have, here is my new classroom. And I'm starting to have a new challenge with my new students, finding excitement and joy with helping them with the using puppets. And this is the mind map, by the way. I have a kind of a compilation to show you my work along the years up to this December. So enjoy it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Can you see the video first? Are you seeing it?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Yes.
The monkey's on your head. Where's the monkey? Where's the monkey? The monkey's behind the stage. 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 Where's the monkey? Where's the monkey? The monkey's next to the table. The monkey is next to the table. Where's the monkey? Where's the monkey? My name is Ryan. Hello, my name is Mr. Bear. How are you? I'm fine, thanks. And you? I'm fine. How old are you? I am 14. And you? I'm 11 years old. How are you born? I'm very beautiful and full of monkey. I know what I know about. It's my life. I love it. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Marty, Marty, Marty. Oh, I need to travel. I'll go up, tigers, and look far. I love this very much. What is it? I don't know. What to eat? I'm the night in my dark night. You're the color of this world. You're the voice to be heard. You're the one who can beat our lives. You're the one who can make others smile. I am 12 years old. I like pizza. My hobbies are swimming and playing football. This is my father. Now, this is my parents. Now I'm going to sing you a song for my parents. This is Dad, and this is Mom, and my little brother Tom. Dad and Tom are brother son. I'm the son of Dad and Mom. I'm the son of Dad and Mom.
Yes. Clear in the bed? Do we say? Very good. Very good. Very good, Aziz. Thank you. Okay, Ryan, do you have any other house chore to be mine? Okay, then Ayman. Quickly, Ryan.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for being patient, and I hope that I wasn't too long. Thank you.
It wasn't. That's fine. Hello, Mrs. Munia. Hello.
Hello,
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yes, Mrs. Zorgati, hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Sorry. Yes, I couldn't log in earlier. Just couldn't. I don't know. I got technical problems. I should like to thank first Mrs. Munia for the enriching and inspiring presentation. Thank you. We are so grateful for the thanks. So grateful for the time and the effort that you took to share your experience, the great experience with puppets and theater in general. Yes,
My
that is
pleasure.
really,
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, I really love that. I mean, I like puppet shows and theater, and I just believe they are the best way that can help improve students' self-confidence and
Indeed.
speaking skills and interaction, and help them foster creativity and gives room for their imagination to run wild and free. That is really very important for students. Thank you. Okay,
Thank
I'm
you.
wondering
It
whether
was
yes, please.
it was because of you. You were inspiring, and you still my inspiration. You'll be always there to encourage me into great and puppets and drama in my school and for years now in my classroom, and it was for years now, not only today. Thank you very much, Ms. Zurgati.
It's because you believe it in that. You believe it
Okay.
in the importance of puppets. Thank you.
because you were inspired
You got
too.
Mrs. Ahlam in one of the comments. Mrs. Ahlam is asking you whether I'm reading what she wrote over there. She's asking, Mrs. Monia, you mean that each student is attributed the same puppet character throughout the whole school year? She's just asking. Is it clear?
Can I answer now? Okay.
Sorry?
Can I answer now or
Okay.
afterwards?
It's just one question. I'm wondering whether other colleagues have got some questions, but I don't know about the time.
No, it's okay. Let her answer, please. Please do, Mrs. Agabi.
Okay. So I give them the choice right from the beginning of the year. I have the one puppet for the whole year, but for my students, I asked them to bring their puppets. Each student has his name on his puppet at first, but I found that they do exchange puppets. That's why I have puppets in my classroom. I managed to have a bank for puppets, and each time you have you want to go behind the stage and have something to present, you can choose your puppets. Or when you come, you can bring your puppets in your bag. Sometimes the students refuse to keep their puppets in the classroom, so they have their own puppets. Other students want to change the puppets from time to time in order to change the character and to have a new character each time. That's it. It is a matter of choice for the students, of course.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Agabi, for the reaction.
Mrs. Basma Marawi, si Kamel.
Yeah, I could see her hand, so she has raised her hand. Mrs. Basma, could you just ask your question, please?
Yes, Mrs. Marawi.
Hello. It's not really a question, but I am really impressed by this great work and the efforts. I know that this required much effort from the teacher, but what I am wondering is the possibility of having your own classroom is very helpful. So we don't have this privilege sometimes. And I have read about using puppets in the classroom and using drama until I saw this practically. So when you read about it, it's not the same as you see some experience be in front of you. I like the experience very much, and I hope I can do something similar. But as I told you, we don't have this specialized classroom, so we have to take everything whenever we move. Even so, although I am in a pioneer school, we don't have the tools to do such outstanding work. Really.
Thank you, Mrs. Basma.
Thank you, Mrs. Basma. I'm sorry, I have something to say here. Having a classroom or a specialized classroom for such a kind such activities is of a crucial importance. And I do advise Ms. Basma to keep trying with the headmaster and with the colleagues as well. So I hope that one day.
I've been trying for more than 10 years.
Yeah, I know the difficulties behind. I know it. I struggled a lot to find a classroom. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But teachers still can do something about it, even if they don't have these special classes. Actually. Now, encouraging students, for example, to bring their own puppets, something like that, could be of help and useful.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you. Yeah. Mrs. Lema, do you want to interfere? Do you have any questions? If you want, please just get over to you, Mrs. Lema. Yeah. Okay, while waiting for Mrs. Lema, I would also want to thank Mrs. Agabi for this really very inspiring presentation and for the efforts.
Thank you.
Had many, it's really inspiring, and many insightful ideas, many things that we appreciated. I guess that all the colleagues share the same attitude. Now, there was a focus also on the 21st century skills, and let me remind colleagues of those things. They are really important, especially the level of communication, creativity, collaboration, empathy towards the others through different types of experiments that you went through, Mrs. Agrabi. That's inspiring.
Yes.
I have
Thank you.
a very short question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Now, you've talked about that experience, which was a kind of field trip. Now, the field trip that you organized with your learners outside of the classroom. Now, were there any challenges that you faced while taking the students outside of the classroom? This is the first part of the question. The second, did you ask for the help of any other people with you, older people, maybe something like that? Now, on the basis of, or with reference to some international experiences in this field, now they call them chaperones. Did you have any chaperones with you, people who helped you organize the work outside of the class?
Okay. Thank you for the question. It's so insightful, and having an activity outside the classroom is challenging indeed. And as I have an English club at school, so parents know that I have many activities, and that sometimes I need students need to go outside the classroom in order to practice English as well, and to have fun practicing English outside the classroom walls. So parents are the helpers. So each time I should have parents with me. They have their cars and their children with them, and they come. And I have also to call them before, and of course I asked the headmaster to help finding their contacts and so on and so forth. And sometimes when having a visit, for example, to the Ajim Center of young pupils, young learners with special needs, the Ajim has their own bus, and they bring us each time the bus in order to help them with gifts, and they help us with the means of transport. Also, parents went many times with us with their own cars, of course, and I have to call them before the event itself to guarantee.
That's very important. Having the consent of the parents and the organization with the administration, those are very important.
Yes.
Thank you. What's Ajim, please? Because we have a city called Ajim in Jerba.
No, it's not that. It is a center, indeed, of a specialized center for young people of special needs.
Okay.
Here in
so you are,
yeah. It
okay,
is in
good.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Mrs. Lema. Thank you. That's really inspiring. Mrs. Lema, again, back to you if you your mic is activated, so that we move on. I don't know what's going on with Mrs. Lema, right? Well, Mrs. Lema, can you just put the presentation
My microphone is unmuted. I don't know whether you can hear me or not.
Oh, yes.
Now we can.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Hello.
You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Mrs. Lema.
Oh, great. Oh, thank God. I don't know. It seems like my PC is
It's not a problem, but I need just notes for Mrs. Sarah so that we move on. Okay, don't worry.
Try to share my screen.
It's okay, it's okay, don't worry, okay, if you have a problem. So, should we move to the second speaker, if you don't mind, because of time pressure? Okay, so Mrs. Sarah Jaidan, are you ready, Mrs. Sarah?
Yeah, I wonder how I can share my slides.
Okay, just a moment. Hang on a second, please, if you don't mind, Mrs. Sarah.
Okay.
Okay, so before you start, I need to introduce you to our audience, to our colleagues. So, of course, you have been teaching for 30 years. You have a good experience in Tunisia and in Canada. That's inspiring. With an ESL degree, I see, from Ottawa University, and specialization in teaching students with special needs. That's very inspiring. We really need these things. Many colleagues are asking about some challenges, difficulties that they face with in their classrooms. So good luck, Mrs. Sarah. I think now Mrs. Lema has just stopped sharing her presentation. You can just go and start sharing yours, please.
Okay, your entire screen.
Do you know how to do it?
The button with share.
Yeah, the arrow at the bottom.
So open share
There's a box with an arrow going up.
I choose what to, well.
Can you see the box with the arrow going up next to participants? I don't know. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Nothing.
Is this your screen, Madame Sarah?
I don't see anything with me. I don't see. Do you see my?
Now this is a shared screen. I guess it's yours, but you need to choose presentation or something. Is your presentation ready?
Yes.
There on the screen. So just go to it and click it.
Yeah,
Okay.
she needs to click on the presentation. Yeah.
Does it appear to you?
Okay, now it's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
Yes?
I can see it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
okay,
can see
so,
it. That's great. Please, you may start.
Okay. So I'm pleased to share the strategies that worked with my students, and I try to include learning the four schools, the four skills, in a more attractive and funny way. So these are the benefits I drew from this. It copes with all different styles of our learners. It generates interest. It develops cooperative learning. We imbue the passion for learning English and create a new comfort zone. We challenge our learners to learn to speak, and they are motivated to stay in the game. We help alleviate problems that hinder language learning, and we eliminate anxiety. So students come out of their shells, they gain more confidence, they sense more enjoyment, and we provide them with more opportunities to produce the target language as compared to a traditional talk lesson. So as I told you, it's a stress-free zone. It's not threatening because always our students are afraid to commit mistakes, but here they are more focusing on playing and winning more than committing errors, which is normal. We offer them authentic and real life situations, and that makes their experience meaningful, and they can use them in the real world. So I start with the games. These are authentic games I use in my class or in the English club I organize every week. Since I was in Syriana, I have been doing a club, and I like this experience. So this is to encourage writing coherent sentences. The materials are 4 boxes with 4 different colors, colored sticks, markers. After we teach different jobs and their descriptions, I split the class in 3 teams. 4 boxes are displayed in front of the class, and every box contains verb, adjective, nouns, and jobs. So the 3 teams move. So students like to move. They select the words they need, and they make 6 correct sentences out of the 6. And the winner, of course, is the team that finishes 2 correct sentences before the other teams. Of course, you can vary the theme, food, clothes, house, any theme you have been teaching. Game 2 is Direct Me. Here you need plastic saucers, a blindfold. We distribute the saucers in zigzag. We split the class in 3 teams. Each team chooses 1 player who must be blindfolded. The other members of the team direct. They say, turn right, turn left, pause, move back, until he reaches the arrival point without touching the saucers. So that's a challenge. And we teach that vocabulary because they repeat vocabulary. They are obliged to speak English. And with the repetition, you know that they learn how to give directions. Game 3 is hen, duck, rabbit. So here we can vary, not necessarily rabbits or animals. We can give them items of food, vegetables, clothes, house. So the original game is a sitting circle, and they tap the peer's hair. But I noticed that they are reluctant because of Corona. So I changed. They were standing in the circle with the ball, and when passing the ball, they have to say each time, hen, duck, rabbit. So, with repetition and trying to catch the ball, they are motivated and they want to stay more. And of course, they have to not to drop the ball, otherwise they are out. I played that many times and it was really enjoyable. Game 4 is treasure hunt. So 3 lists of objects. Of course, the themes can be different. So I taught, for example, school items, things related to jobs, anything. So 3 teams with different lists, and we ask them to look for the objects in class. If you don't have these objects, we can bring a bag of objects from the house and hide the objects everywhere in the class. And then we tell them, okay, you have 3 different lists. Look for the object, and the first who will find all the objects will name this in English. And the winner will have, I don't know, a game of computer, a sticker, or a high five from the teacher. Game 5, if Simon says. Now, I'm happy that my students like that. And just today, you see, as the picture shows, the student wants to make the game himself. So they like to see, so they give the instruction in English, and then they're happy to see 1 or 2 friends mistaking and going out. It's just funny. I don't know if you know the game. So if Simon says the instruction, all members of the group follow. If the main player, it can be the teacher or the group leader, does not say Simon says, the players must not follow. Otherwise, he's out. Game 5 is the chair game. There are many targets in this game, TPR, respecting turns, and we give them rules. You must or you mustn't. So the rules of the game, you must put your hands at your backs. You mustn't touch the chairs. You mustn't push. And of course, when they hear this very often, they will learn it automatically and they are enjoying the game. So when the music is on, the players start walking around the chairs with hands at their backs. Once the music is off, they need to find a chair. Each, of course, there's one who will not cannot find a chair. One chair is removed with one player until the last player, who becomes a winner and who will notes that here we have to be careful at safety of students and insist that they never push each other. So materials are chairs depending on the number of students, and music. Okay. Game 6 is squat or quit. I'm happy today they played it on their own. They didn't need me. So when you repeat the game once, twice, it's okay because they learn more vocabulary and they gain more self-confidence. So you scaffold the responsibility to them.
Please
And I
pass
like
the slide.
sorry?
To the next slide. The next slide. We don't see the slide
Okay.
of what you are talking about.
Okay. Squat or quit, the target is thematic vocabulary. So the themes of my label can be family, school, environment, job, safety.
Mrs. Sarah, can you move to the next slide, please?
Okay. Game 7 is cup game. So as you see.
Now, what we can see now
It
is the
seems like
slide
it's
with
frozen.
targets.
Oh,
We cannot see the slide.
Just exit full screen, Mrs. Sarah. Just exit full screen.
oh.
Maybe you should
Full screen.
refresh.
Can you?
Do you see now?
The escape key. Use the escape key to exit full screen.
You see now?
Yes,
Not yet.
yes,
Okay.
yes, no, yes, no.
Who says yes, no? Okay, squat or quit?
Not yet, Mrs. Sarah.
Cannot
Not yet.
see it.
No. Do I escape the full screen or?
Please do. Yeah, please do it.
It is done, but I don't know. This way, no?
Okay. Can you
Stop sharing.
Yeah, stop sharing and share your screen again. It will work.
Share.
That arrow that is up next to leave at the top of the top right.
Yes?
Yeah. Now share your screen again and click on the slide that you were talking about.
Okay. I'm trying. So here, open share tray. Here.
Not yet for the for your screen.
Does it work?
Not yet.
Yes?
Not yet. We are still waiting.
Cancel. Open share tray. It was working, then it suddenly stopped?
Yeah.
Oh. So weird. Open share tray. It's open. Enter full screen. We've got technical problems here.
Select the slide you are supposed to show. On your...
No.
Not yet.
Mrs. Lema, do you have her presentation?
Yeah, I do.
So please share it.
Share it, please, so that she can carry on.
Shall I try, Mrs. JD?
I'm sorry, but I'm not really. I used to rely on my kids. Now they are far.
It's okay, no problem. I guess that Mrs. Lema will share your presentation, your slide, in a moment. Is it okay with you, Mrs. Lema?
I'm trying to.
So,
Mrs. Sarah, just stop sharing yours if you have maybe.
okay.
We cannot see. Okay, now it's going from Mrs. Lama's computer. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can.
It's
Yeah.
there. It's okay.
Just move on to the
So,
last
stop
slide, please. Yeah.
at game
So-
6, right?
Squat. Cup
So
game.
the last game was the game of the chairs. So I think this is the last one.
The
Yeah,
last
here.
one.
It's here. Game 6. Okay.
I think we were with squat or squid.
Squat or quick? Yes.
Can you see her screen, Mrs. Sarah?
Yes.
Yes.
We
Okay,
can. I
please
can
go
see
ahead.
that. So squat or squid, can you share the next slide, please? They are just pictures.
Yes.
Okay, so so that I understand this game, three main players have labels with themes on, for example, family, school, jobs. And the rest of the players have to raise their hands and say words related to the theme. And so the main player, when hearing the word related to his theme, must squat. Otherwise, he's replaced by another one. So the target, the rules, they hear, you mustn't repeat the same word. You must squat when hearing the word belonging to your label. If the main player makes a mistake, is replaced. So this game is competitive, funny, and consolidates what we teach in class as vocabulary. Next slide, please. Thank you. Mrs. Lama. Can I make a next myself? No? No.
You just wait a bit and then it will
Okay.
show up.
Yeah, these are the cup game. So can you show us the next picture, please? The next slide. Yeah, so as materials, you need cups with two different colors. Two teams are asked to make pyramids or towers. The team that makes a higher or taller pyramid or tower is the winner. And they have to describe and compare their towers. So in this way, we are inducing them to learn comparatives. You can have a variation with three different colors, and here they will be using the superlatives to compare their different towers. You can use not cups, not cards, but cups if you want. Next slide, please, Mrs. Lama. Okay. Game 8, traffic lights. I created this myself as I noticed the students in Tunisia have difficulty in functions, which is confusing. I never taught functions while I was in Canada, but I wanted to tell them, okay, you have the traffic lights, red, green, or orange or yellow, and here they understood with an example. If you have a car, you must drive. So this is obligation. If you the light is green, you must drive. If the light is red, you mustn't drive. If it is orange, so you can. So it depends. So in this way, the game was three students or three players display. If you show the picture before, Mrs. Lama, please. Display three labels: prohibition, obligation, and ability. The rest of the players must give them a sentence. For example, you must stop when you have red light, for example. So the label, the student who has the red label must jump, for example. And here it was very funny because they are expressing full sentences, and they are making fun because when the main player mistakes, so he's going to replace him. Okay, next slide, please. I'm going to be quick because Mrs. Lama, next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Last game, okay. The four corners or the four islands. Here we've got one. Next slide, please. It's explained. Mrs. Lama. Next slide. Yeah. So you need one chair, a blindfold, four saucers of different colors. So the main player is blindfold. He cannot see. He counts. Here there's a variation from 1 to 10 or from 10 to 20 or it depends on how to what extent your your students master counting. The other players, while the main player is counting, choose an island or a corner. When the main player finishes the counting, he says, for example, Blue Island. The players who chose Blue Island are out, and the game continues again and again until there is only one player left, and the winner will be sitting on the chair, blindfold, and start counting. So as I noticed, uh, the students like that very much. So, benefits TPR, fun, cooperative learning, counting skill, and colors. To conclude, interactive games are effective, they are time-saving, and motivating to all learners with their different profiles. As I personally notice what we call low achievers are more willing to take part because here they want to make fun and they don't realize they are learning English and they are even using and speaking English during the game. So uh, my part of differentiated learning and what I learned, what I learned in teaching learners in need was a bit satisfied. So we have to know that our modern world is changing. Students outside the classroom. So as a teacher, if we don't bring this audiovisual material, this physical activity, our student definitely would lose any interest and be bored stiff. Imagine I did one test once with my grade 7. I just sat on the chair and I found it so cold. And I asked them, were you sitting on that chair since 8 o'clock? They said, yes. I said, oh, okay, start jumping, turn, go. So it's really at their age, sitting for many hours and without physical activity, I can't stand it. So we need to make our students move, please. Uh, Walk in their shoes because learning for long hours is not really motivating for them. So as teacher, I'm always learning new ideas and I'm trying um, to adapt to see the needs of my learners and to make them interested. If I see that a game or an activity was of no interest, I directly stop that and I try to reflect and see what they really like. My final objective is to sparkle their imagination, curiosity, and passion. Okay, finally, I hope
Well done.
I thank you for your patience. I hope I contributed a little in the endless creative ideas of teaching. Thank you very much. Your questions are very
Well
welcome.
done. Thank you very much, Mrs.
Thank you
Sarah.
very much,
Thank you.
Sarah.
Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you.
So many activities, very lively classrooms. So very lively classrooms, very inspiring, and I hope that all colleagues are happy about your work. I guess so. Just to
If you
start
allow
with
me,
a very quick
Mr.
question, if you
Chief,
don't mind, Mrs. Lama.
can you hear me?
Yes.
I'd like to thank for great presentation.
Mrs. Lama, we cannot hear you. Sorry. Can you just repeat, please? Mrs. Lama, no.
Okay, no problem.
Just do it again, please. Now it seems better.
I was trying to say that I appreciated the presentation of Mrs. Jayden. I'd like to thank her for her enthusiasm, the motivation that she's sharing with all the colleagues. Thank you very much, Mrs. Jayden. I wish you a very happy birthday. It's a good opportunity to celebrate.
Well done, Mrs. Sarah Jaidan. Thank you, Mrs.
Thank
Lama.
you.
It seems that your voice is fading a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Mrs. Sarah.
Yes.
Just a quick question, if you don't mind. Now,
Yes.
I liked and I appreciated the work you do in your class with your students. That's very inspiring. Now, for the benefit of other colleagues, now actually doing games or working on games, etc., and other activities in the class is a bit challenging in the sense that teachers are stressed with the curriculum and I've stated this from the very beginning of the session. So how do you relate games to existing content in textbooks? How do you manage to introduce games in teaching with that content that you have?
Okay. What I do, I used to have an English club every week where I make more games. But if I have even 10 minutes, it doesn't take a lot of time. 10 minutes, 15 minutes to consolidate what you have been teaching, it's not a waste of time. You see, when you see all the students in your class interested and motivated, you say it's worth doing. In all the classes, we know as teachers, we always have 2 or 3 who are fed up, bored. They are looking at their watches. They want to get out. But when you try to do this and you see that everybody is enthusiastic about that, you ask yourself, well, it's not a waste of time. I can manage between my curriculum because I'm selective in the curriculum. Not everything in the curriculum is, there are many outdated that we don't need to teach. So I select what I need from the curriculum, but when there is an opportunity to play a game and to learn more, I do it without any hesitation.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we give a chance to colleagues. Now, anyone who wants to ask a question or to make a comment, please, including colleagues, of course, the inspectors, Mrs. Lama, Mrs. Zorgati, Mr. Lahbib, and all colleagues, teachers, please go ahead. Yes, who is raising the hand? Yes. Basma, you may go. Mrs. Basma?
Yeah. I'd like to congratulate my colleague for her hard work. So even though it is done inside the club, but pupils like games, and games, they can learn much from games. So the way she is creating the games and the fact of bringing the materials to the class, to pupils to make or to play these games is really, I'd like to value her efforts, because this is not easy for any teacher to create the games and to take all the materials necessary for the game with you to the class. But it's really interesting because pupils learn through games, I'm sure. So when they are fed up and you suggest you are going to play a game, even if it is just the hangman, they like it very much and they are excited.
Okay, good. That's a reaction. That's good.
Yeah, just a reaction, yeah.
Well said. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to say something that today, just today, I turned 56. And when I ask my students, how old do you give me? They never believe me, because these games and these activities really keep me young, active, and energetic. And the more I see the zeal and enthusiasm from my students, the more this is the real, the genuine reward I get after all these years of teaching.
Great, great. That's fine. You are still young, Mrs. Sarah.
56, 4 years of retirement.
Okay. Happy birthday, Mrs. Sarah Jaydan.
Thank you.
It's immensely gratifying to see both of you, Mrs. Jaydan and Mrs. Agarbi, tailoring your teaching practices to fit the needs and preferences of your students. This is really at the heart of effective teaching. Thank you for the quality of the work that you are doing, for the hard work that you are doing. Thank you for the impactful and the insightful presentation that you gave today. Over to you, Sikamel and Mrs.
So, Mrs. Jaidan, you make demonstrations for your students, of course.
Yeah, I am fond of theater. So even before I went to Canada, I did many musical performances, and I like that. You see, when you try something and you see how sometimes the students amaze you. You are amazed about how long they become involved, and what, of course, as a teacher I want them to speak English better, but English as a language should not be given as meaningless language. We need emotion into it, a tone, a rhythm, a facial expression, a gesture, to make it a meaningful experience. So the more we make the performances together, the more I say, oh, I found my way of making English a passion within students.
Thank you. Good. Ulfa Swisi, go ahead.
Yes, please. Good evening.
There's some background noise. I don't know. What is it? What it is coming from, Mrs. Ulfa? Yes, go ahead.
Good evening.
Ulfa, shut off your camera so that it works, I think.
Yeah, try to switch off the camera. Maybe, yeah. Okay, go ahead, Ulfa.
Yes, I'm an English teacher at Lavienne Technical School, and
Welcome.
I know my. Yes, do you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. It's okay. That's good.
Yes. And I know Mrs. Sarah Jaiden, she taught at Barbaros Technical School. I attended with my colleagues her class, and it's not strange of her as a person and as a teacher. I experienced with her the introduction of games and plays. She always motivates her students with learning through gaming. And I remember last year I attended a play staged by her technical students in the cultural house in Kram, about juvenile delinquency and about the love of Tunisia, in which she translated the Tunisian anthem in English. It was sung by her students. It was a great pleasure for all of us. We thank her very much. I'm very pleased to hear her this evening, and thank you for organizing all this for our benefit.
So congratulations again.
Thank you, Ulfa. You know, this is my passion forever.
Yes. And happy
That's
birthday.
the key. That's the
Thank
key.
you.
Doing things with love and passion. That's the key.
Uh,
Good.
I
Any
thank
other
you, Mr.
reactions, please? Yeah, have you finished, Mrs. Zulfa, or you want to add
Yes,
something?
I thank Mr. Habib and all of you, Mrs. Lama, all of you. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you. Welcome.
Yes, all the pleasure is mine.
Thank you. Any more comments? Any more reactions before we conclude? Yes, Sila Habib, go ahead.
Si Camila just wanted to maybe comment or react to what Mrs. Sarah Jidan has mentioned earlier. Let me tell you, Mrs. Jidan, that age is just a number. So getting old has to do with the mindset and not with the age first. This maybe reminded me of some teachers who get stuck in a rut early in their career and they stop innovating, they stop maybe finding ways to make their teaching enjoyable and to make students learning more fun. So as you said, playing game or using games in the classroom not only helps to motivate students and engage them in learning, it has also an impact on the teacher. It may rejuvenate the teacher. It may give him maybe other, may give him another or a new context or new ways discovering himself and enjoying his teaching practices and enjoying his all the hours that he's teaching and all the lessons that he's teaching. So thank you again to both. So a big thank you and a warm thank you to all of you and to the guest speakers today, to Mrs. Monia Agarbi and Mrs. Sarah Jidan. Thank you.
Okay, Sila Habib, just a reminder, Sila Habib, before we conclude. Mrs. Lama has just posted the link to the form, to the quiz, so that colleagues can log in and answer the quiz to get their certificates, okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay, any more comments, please? Mrs. Lama, do you want to add something, or Mrs. Zargati? Mrs. Ulfa, I see that you're raising your hand. Do you have an additional comment, maybe, or question? I don't know, or it's left.
Her microphone, her microphone is muted. So
Okay. She has left that. So
we can call it a day, I think.
Yeah, Mrs. Lama, go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you to our two speakers, Mrs. Monia Agarbi and Mrs. Sarah Jaiden. We enjoyed every bit of their presentations. And I think that we all agree that we saw concrete examples and inspiring ideas that we all can use in our classes. So many thanks to them. Many thanks to you, Mr. Rashid, for moderating this session with me. Many thanks also to our colleagues in the steering committee, Mr. Habib Sherni and Mrs. Camilla Zorgati. I hope that all the attendees benefited from the webinar, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the coming ones. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, and that's it. That's the end of our webinar tonight, and see you in future events. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Many thanks to all of you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, good night.